Okay. So first of all, I just want to share a little bit about our staff team that we have present. So Clarissa and myself are our 2 US staff members, and then Allison, who is on the call, is one of our founders. And then we also have several of our Uganda staff members here. So Kathy, or her screen name is Amedi Francis. She is one of the founders of WOCAP, who is our partner organization in Uganda. We've been working with WOCAP from the start. That's kind of what got us involved in even starting a nonprofit in Uganda in the first place. And so she's present with us today. We also have Ahmed, who's our Beads Project coordinator, and then our agriculture advisors, Henry and Katimbo, I hope will be joining us too. And then we have Emmanuel and Martha, who are our coaches for BSSP, and they help tutor all of our students and make sure that our students have everything that they need. And so really excited for you to meet them and to also get to hear from them today. So we're going to be jumping in, and I want to hear a little bit and have us reflect back on some of the early days of BO. And so Kathy, I would love for you to just share with everyone what it's kind of been like for WOCAP these last 10 years and what it's been like for you personally too, to have been on this journey together the last 10 years. Because I know it's hard to believe it's been 10 years, right? Oh, go ahead and unmute, Kathy.
Yes, hello?
Yes.
Yes. First of all, I would like to congratulate Bo for reaching this milestone. It has been quite a long time, but all the same, it has been a blessing. We happened to meet with Natalia when she came. She was a student by then, very young girl, and she came, I think it was on a tour, and we had some ideas that we discussed. She found us already making beads, and she got interested in the beads program. So we kept on communicating, and then Natalia decided to be the beads from Uganda with Bo. And it has been a blessing. 10 years has been a very good blessing to the students and the women at large here in Uganda. It's quite interesting, the 10 years that we've moved with Bo, because there were a lot of good things that have happened here in Uganda, especially with the children. These children are so excited, they are so happy. Bo has been able to sponsor these students in all various levels of education. Right now, we have so many graduates, of which some of them are even working with us. That is Henry and Martha. Besides that, Bo has also been able to help the women in a very tremendous way, because these women now have got all the skills that they need to sustain themselves because of Bo. And I believe without Bo, then this wouldn't have been able to be done by these women, especially in the side of agriculture, because that is our major economic activity. Bo has come in with new skills of farming, as the coordinator will explain much. But they've got yields, good yields, thousands and thousands of kilograms of food that they've been able to harvest. And this has been possible because of the help of Bo. You see, the students have been graduating. We have many of them. Right now, we have many students on the scholarship that Bo is supporting. And these kids have got stories to tell, because some of them were found home just seated without any hope of joining school because of their financial status. But because of hope, their lives have changed. They've gotten what they wanted, especially in education. And some are going, now we have one mechanical engineer who is very busy. That is Suprian. He's so excited. So I'm generally so grateful because of Bo, all the people that have supported women and the children here in Uganda. I'm really so happy. Thank you for having wonderful hearts, caring hearts, loving hearts. Thank you for loving us here in Uganda. I wish USA would be near, like in Kampala, where we would be traveling to see one another. That would be the best. But our hearts are always with you guys. Thank you very much. I'm so grateful. Happy anniversary, Bo. It has been a long while.
Yeah.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you for caring for the children, for the women. Thank you taking time traveling to Uganda. I know it's a long distance, but you're always here with us. We are so grateful. Thank you for loving us, Natalia. And we pray that we continue working for many, many more years for the good of the community in Uganda. We love you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kathy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been such a privilege to work with Kathy. We wouldn't have been able to have gotten things off the ground without her. One of our first couple of years, we started the scholarship program, and Kathy is a teacher. And so she had a lot of teaching background and really helped us launch BSSP, our scholarship program. And on one of those trips, Allison and I were in Uganda with her, and we stayed with her and her family, and she was so hospitable to us. And we hadn't been there but more than a few days when I got really dehydrated and just threw up all over the place. And poor Kathy had to take care of me and clean up the mess that we Mzungus had made when we got there. And so Kathy has not only helped start programs that have been so impactful in the community, but she's been a blessing in my life and has looked after me every single time I've been in Uganda. So it's been a privilege to work with Kathy and to just call her a dear friend and member of our family. And so Allison, I would love to just hear from you too. Allison is one of our co-founders. So the organization was started by myself and Allison and Nikki, who unfortunately couldn't be with us today. But I would love, Allison, just for you to share kind of about what you've seen in the last 10 years and some of the things that have stood out to you from this journey so far.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to everyone for being here. It's really good to see faces I know and faces I don't know too. Yeah, and just reflecting, even thinking back to the really early days of BO on the state side, I just think of 3 recent college graduates with a lot of passion and enthusiasm to just kind of pursue this dream of partnering with WOCAP and trying to start a nonprofit organization here. And so, in those early days, there was so much excitement around every milestone, whether it was a big one or a smaller one. Getting our first jewelry shipments was really exciting. We moved into a house that conveniently had 3 cubicles built into the garage. And so that felt like provision for us to have a space to work. I remember being in the post office when we got our 501c3 designation and being so excited about that. And so just along the way, and I think what made it so special is we had a lot of people that shared in our excitement and our enthusiasm as well. So for all the excitement we had, we were also young and there was a lot that we didn't know. And so I feel especially grateful for the people who partnered with us, who gave us of their time, their expertise, their financial support. We had people open their homes so we could have jewelry parties. We had people connect us with churches, with their community, just giving us opportunities to share about WOCAP, what was happening in Uganda, and what we were trying to do here to partner with them. So I think that's been a recurring theme over the last 10 years, is that partnership with people and people really coming alongside us and sharing in that vision. And I think some of the best advice we received early on was to really lean into the wisdom and the expertise and the experience of our Ugandan partners. So that partnership and that spirit of collaboration, I would say, has been woven into Bo's DNA from the beginning. Bo would not exist if it weren't for WOCAP, all of our Ugandan staff, the women and the families that we've worked with over the last 10 years. So I think that helped relieve some pressure off of us being young and not always knowing exactly what direction to go, but just always having people join us and support us in that. So it is really amazing and humbling to see how far Bo has come, how much we've grown in the last 10 years. And I'm just really grateful for all the people who have supported our mission in many different ways. So yeah, so thank you all for being here. Thanks to everyone who's been a part of Bo for the last 10 years.
Yeah, some of you on this screen with us have been supporting us from the start, and we just have been so grateful for those who have walked alongside us from the beginning and given financially and generously through just encouragement or finances or prayers. And for people who have joined us on the journey since then, it's meant so much to have people run this race with us. We get to have the privilege of seeing what happens on the ground in Uganda firsthand, and we do our best to communicate that here. But we just thank everyone so much for being involved and caring about the benefit of our families and what we do. And when Allison and Kathy, when we were first starting out, Allison and Kathy were both an integral part of launching BSSP, or scholarship program. And one of the very first staff members we hired was Emma, or Emmanuel, and he's one of our BSSP coaches. And so, Emma, I would love to just hear from you some of the impact of what you've seen in Uganda in the lives of some of the students you've gotten to work with.
Right. Thank you very much, Natalie. I'm so happy for the 10 years that we've gotten to. And thank you all for being here with us to celebrate this 10 years. On the side of the students are really so grateful for the help that you've given them. Because most of them didn't ever think they would get to where they are right now. Because at the moment we have students who finished degrees, who have done some degrees, diplomas and certificates. Like my co-coach, who we have right now, she's a beneficiary of this program, and she had she was not studying for like 2 years. Like she had lost hope of going to school, but because of hope, she went back to school, and she finished her degree in education, and now she's here working with us. And the other students too are very happy that they're in the program, because they get to get a lot of things that other kids are not able to get. Like they feel they are so lucky to be in this program. Yeah, and basically, yeah, that's it. They're so very happy. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Emma, for just all your commitment to working with the students. He's been with us since the very beginning of the scholarship program back in 2013. And so we're thankful to have Emma on our team. So thank you, Emma, for your work. Martha, yeah. Martha, I would love to just hear from you. So as Emma mentioned, Martha is our female BSSP coach, and she also works and tutors with the students. And Martha was a student. She had been in the BSSP program, and BSSP helped her graduate university, and now she works for us, which is really exciting. And so Martha, I would love to just hear from you a little bit about your experience in BSSP and now being a part of our staff team.
Yeah, thank you so much, Natalia. I'm so grateful for this evening. Yeah, it is evening this way. Yeah, I just want to reach my gratitude to everyone who has supported this organization. Yeah, it has been so paramount in our lives. I personally, I am a beneficiary. I may say it is a double benefit right now, from being sponsored for school program to being employed again as the coach. It is so much exciting. So I want to say thank you for all the support that was rendered to us and that is being rendered to all the other children by this organization. Yeah, it has been so exciting to work with Bo. It is so far so good. For the few months that I've been working, the staff is good. I want to reach my thanks to Kathy for being welcoming and everyone who has welcomed me to work with them. Yeah, the students are doing well. Yeah, even despite the fact that we are in such a challenging season, yeah, we have tried to reach them. Right now they are studying on Zoom and they started from Monday up to Friday and they have been attending all the lessons. I want to say thank you for the support. Yeah, I beg to end there.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Martha. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, and as Martha alluded to, so Uganda has just spent the last 42 days, to be exact, in a very strict lockdown. And part of what that's meant is schools have closed. Emma and Martha have had to travel to students' homes, literally taking smartphones so kids can be able to Zoom into lessons. They've been taking homework packets to students' homes so that the kids have work that they can do. And Martha had joined our staff team right before the lockdown happened. So it was a little bit of a challenging transition to be able to meet all of the students and to just barely have gotten settled herself when the lockdown hit. And so Martha, we're so glad to have you on our staff team. Thank you so much for caring for the students and for working with the organization to continue pouring into them in the midst of the lockdown. I want to go ahead and switch gears here too and share a little bit about Katimbo as well. So Katimbo is one of our staff members who oversees some of our agriculture programs, and he also has come out of BSSP. He graduated with a degree in development studies from one of the best universities in Uganda. And he was hired by us and has since helped us start multiple programs within the vein of agriculture. And Katimbo, I'm not sure if you're able to unmute with your connection right now, but if so, I would love to just hear from you about the programs you've started and just your heart for empowerment. His connection may not be working. Katimbo, can you hear me? Oh, it looks like his audio might not be working right now.
Thank you, Natalia. Everyone.
Uh-oh. Katimbo,
I'm hearing you.
Okay,
Hello.
sorry. We're having a hard time hearing.
Hello.
Go ahead and talk now.
Hello. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, go ahead. Uh-oh, okay. So I don't think the connection's gonna work right now. So I apologize for that, but I will go ahead and just share a little bit on Katimbo's behalf. So he has been an essential part of starting our 3 newest programs. So he has helped start our banana project, our poultry project, and also our vegetable project. The banana project has been an essential part of providing food security for our families. So the bananas that our women grow are more like plantains, and they're an essential food source. And the plants themselves are more drought resistant than other crops. So in seasons when we've had drought, it's been a vital source of food for our families. And so it's been amazing to see Katimbo have been a student in BSSP, to come out of BSSP, and to be able to now be empowering families in his village community that he grew up in. And his grandmother, Nansha, is a member of our organization. So she's involved in a lot of our projects. So Katimbo and Martha grew up in our village community, and now they get to be a part of empowering women that raised them, and also loved ones in the local village community. So that's something we're really proud of, and we're so thankful to have both of them on our team. I want to also share too, Henry, our other agriculture advisor, I don't believe he was able to join us today, but he has also been an essential part of helping our families through the highs and lows of agriculture. And so Henry has played an integral part in helping our families through farming and also through raising pigs. And so we're very grateful for his contribution too. Another big component of what we do, as all of you probably know in the US, is our beads project. And our beads project has been the very first project that's been a part of BOH's DNA since the start. And the reason for that is that our families and our women already had the skill of making jewelry out of paper from even before we knew them. And that was one of the first things we saw when we met the women of WOCAP. And Ahmed, I would love for you to just share. Ahmed is our beads project advisor, and I would love, Ahmed, to hear from you what it means to the women to have the support of people in the US who are interested in their goods and wanting to buy their jewelry. What does the beads project mean to the women in Uganda? Oh, Muzay, we can't hear you. Go ahead and unmute. Ahmed, go ahead and unmute your microphone. We can't hear you. Ahmed, go ahead and click unmute. We can't hear you. I don't think he can hear me either, by the look of it. Okay. Well, thanks for your patience, everyone. As you can see, an international connection isn't always the clearest. So thanks for hanging in there with us. But Ahmed has been so faithfully committed to walking alongside our women throughout this pandemic. He has just been, he cares so much about the women. And one thing that I just want to share about our staff team in general that I've been so blown away with this last year is just their dedication. Most of the staff have worked for us for a long time, and the last year and a half has probably been the hardest year and a half we've ever seen just throughout the pandemic. And Ahmed and Kathy and Henry and Katimbo and Emma and Martha and Jane, who has worked with us until just recently in Uganda, they've just given sacrificially of themselves this last year on the ground in Uganda, through food distributions, through less than ideal circumstances. The latest lockdown that they just have been going through has included really strict transportation restrictions, meaning that no public or private transportation has even been allowed. So we've had a tremendous amount of problem solving we've had to do on the ground in Uganda. And our staff team has just cared sacrificially for our families and for our students and just gone above and beyond. And so I just want to publicly acknowledge all of them as well as Clarissa too, who I'm going to be sharing with in a second, just because they have really done a tremendous job in helping our families get through what has probably been the hardest last 2 years we've seen since our organizations have been working together. And Clarissa, I would love to hear from you. Clarissa joined our staff team and had just had enough time to be fully trained in her role in the US before the pandemic hit and we had to go to working remotely. And this last 2 years, her and Michaela, who worked for us until just recently as well too, before moving to Colorado for law school, I couldn't have done the last 2 years without their support, because they really played an essential role in helping guide our organization throughout the pandemic and provide the resources and support to our Uganda team to be able to help our families through this year. So Clarissa, I would just love to hear from you what it's been like for you to join the team and be a part of both throughout the pandemic.
Yeah, I think it has been challenging, yet it has also been a blessing. And that, like, in the midst of the pandemic, we had seen God's faithfulness, and He has really provided in numerous ways. And in Uganda, we had to navigate how to support our families during the pandemic. And we were challenged by the impact of the lockdown, especially with the food security because of the increasing food prices in Uganda. But thankfully, we were able to do food distributions through like the provision and the support of our donors like you. And when most of the events were postponed and canceled here in the US, we had to shift our efforts to our online stores. And it was so encouraging to see online sales increase this past year. And I'm also really grateful for our donors and customers and everyone who has supported BOH, even during the challenging seasons. And we really appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Clarissa. As I mentioned, I've just been so thankful for Clarissa's help and for her support and the role that she's played. She is talented in both a variety of administrative tasks, but also a lot of creative graphic design tasks. So much of the graphic design work is done by her. So thank you, Clarissa, for all you've done for our organization. And it's a pleasure to work with you in the US. And so I just want to give a brief update kind of connected to the pandemic about where things are at currently. So Uganda, as I mentioned, for the last 42 days has been in a very strict lockdown. And so for us, as we've been approaching this 10-year milestone, it's been a little bit bittersweet, because here in the US, things have been opening up more, which has been really exciting. And yet we've watched our loved ones in Uganda kind of take a step back as Uganda's case numbers have gone up. And that's just been really heartbreaking for us. And just within the last 2 weeks, we've had to do more food distributions because the situation has gotten so bad again. And part of the reason for that has been just the economics of what's taking place in Uganda. And one of the main things is that food prices have skyrocketed. And so a lot of our families have really struggled to afford food in the midst of the pandemic. And so even though they're growing crops and they have different things, it doesn't mean that they don't have to buy supplemental food for their families. So when food prices go up, it's just crippling. And so I was really thankful, because last year when we decided we were going to fundraise for an emergency fund, I just finished a board meeting with our board, and we had talked about fundraising $5,000. And we finished the meeting and I was praying about the situation, and I just felt God so clearly say, you need to fundraise $10,000. And so that's what we did. So we changed the goal, we fundraised $10,000, and we got to the end of last year and had only spent about $5,000 on emergency relief last year. And so this year we were brainstorming, okay, how do we help our families recover? Because Uganda for the first half of this year was doing pretty well with their COVID numbers. And we're, putting all these plans in place about what we wanted to do to do business training and different things. And then we saw the COVID numbers go up and up and up. And the second wave has hit and the lockdown happened again. And I'm so thankful because we've been in a position, because of the generosity of everyone last year and God's leading, to be in a position this year to have the resources we need to be prepared and equipped to respond to the emergency happening again. And so just this last 2 weeks, we've been coordinating food distributions. Our staff have been distributing that and getting that accessible to our families. And so I just want to thank everyone who's been a part of supporting financially, who's been praying, who's been buying our jewelry, who's been following our story, because there have been true life and death circumstances in the last 2 years, and there's just no sugarcoating that. Our families, as our staff members have shared, even as they were distributing food this week, some of the face-to-face communication with our women has been lessened in the last month because of the lockdown. And so even for our staff to be able to go and say, yeah, some of our families really needed this, even more so than was anticipated. And so just knowing that our organization is always going to be committed to empowerment long-term, but the pandemic has really provided a context in which relief has also been needed. And so while we've done a lot of food distributions and we will continue monitoring the emergency situation of things, we also are very committed to empowerment. And so I want to speak a little bit about empowerment and why that's so important. So we fully believe that empowerment is part of the long-term solutions to overcoming poverty. And so our organization from the beginning has been committed to sustainable empowerment for our families. And so we work with 83 families from 3 different villages, and all of those families are members of WOCAP, our partner organization. And as we have progressed, we have built out our programs so that we now have 7 different projects. And so our 7 different projects are in the vein of our Beads project, our scholarship program, and then also all of our agriculture projects, which now there's 5 different agriculture projects. And so I want to go ahead and just show you through some stats on our programs, just what the last 10 years have accomplished. And this is something that we're really proud of. And this is something that all of you who have supported BO have contributed to. So we've seen our women, and we've helped empower our women to raise thousands and thousands of kilos of crops. Bananas are classified differently because they are a cash crop with a different crop cycle. And as I mentioned, they're part of our strategy to help with food security. And you see stats on pigs and chickens and education. And we've been able to provide over 300 annual scholarships through BSSP. And we as a program have really valued helping students attain higher levels of education. So a lot of those scholarships have gone to students for 1 year, from 1 year to the next. And so we've really helped students progress from primary school to secondary school, onto vocational programs, and even university level. And so we're so thankful to have been working with some of our students for years and to be seeing graduates graduate from university. All of our programs too, something that I just really want to make clear and emphasize, all of our programs are designed to work together. And so the women who are involved in the majority of our programs are the ones seeing the biggest impact in their lives and in their families. And the reason for that is, just like it's important here with investments to diversify your portfolio, the same is true in Uganda with sources of income. The more diversified a family's income can be, the better. You know, while farming is great in providing food security, if there's a season of drought, you need other sources of income to fall back on. And so our programs are really designed to work together to give our women and their families the resources that they need to have diversified income. And so that's what we're seeing in Uganda. And ultimately, we're working toward helping our families be sustained to really thrive and have what they need. And so I want to thank all of you for being a part of that. The last 10 years of BOH have certainly not been easy, but they have just been incredible. And we've seen our families just really develop and have a lot of opportunities throughout that time period. And so I want to thank all of you for being a part of that. This journey has been a wild one, to say the least, as Allison kind of alluded to. You know, we were 3 young college kids straight out of college who had a lot of passion, but also had a lot to learn. And man, God has been so faithful in carrying us, and for me, carrying me personally. BOH has easily been the hardest thing I've ever done or been a part of, but it's also been the most rewarding. And today it's really brings me so much joy to see my Uganda world and my US world come together, and to see loved ones across the globe get to meet and get to see each other's faces and hear each other's voices. That's a dream come true for me. And so for all of you who have supported BOH or have supported staff members or who have been part of my personal support system, I just want to say thank you. I couldn't have done it this last year without you. We couldn't have done it as an organization without you. And it's having an impact. And so I'm going to try not to cry right now as we're wrapping up, but truly just want to say thank you. And want to just show you, and I'm going to have Clarissa share a video with us right now. We weren't 100% sure how the connection was going to be with our Uganda staff members over Zoom today. So we have a little video we want to share with you as well too, and we hope that you enjoy it.
Hi Bo, this is Amede Catherine, the BSSP advisor here in Uganda. I'm so grateful that we've been together for the last 10 years. Wow, how time can fly. Thank you for your continuous support to the students and women of Woke Up here in Uganda. They are so grateful, and they thank you for all the time that you've been with them.
Today, BOH celebrates its 10th anniversary. Woke Up women members have received miracles through the supporters in the United States of America. It is my concern to express my gratitude, happiness, and appreciation before you, the supporters of this organization, which in various ways has empowered the local women in Uganda.
The one thing that has done a lot, it is empowerment. BOH has empowered women in Uganda through providing them with soft loans, paying school fees for their children, and hiring experts so that they equip or impart skills into these women so that they can be resilient. This has worked so much for them, and it's still working for them because women are using those skills that they got from different experts in order to stay or to sustain themselves.
I'm proud of BOH because BOH has impacted a lot to the communities, especially the members of Woke Up. We have seen in the recent 10 years the women being empowered financially because they are being trained and equipped with a lot of skills, which is a very good empowerment to them. They are doing farming God's way, they are beading, they are doing piggery farming, they are doing poultry, they are growing the bananas. This has greatly impacted the women. And we have also seen many orphans obtain education to university level, to an extent that today, as a staff, we have a younger staff that has joined us, estimation like Christopher and Martha. These are products of BOH. It is really a blessing, and we are really proud.
In the last 10 years that BOH has existed, it has impacted positively on the lives of the students and their parents, whereby most students have attained their bachelor's degrees, diplomas, and certificates in various fields. The parents have been taught how to be sustainable financially and in their day-to-day lives.
Indeed, we are so grateful. For the 10 years down the road, at least I, as Martha, I have a testimony to give. It is out of this organization that I was able to go through my education. The organization got me at a time when I was stranded with my education, and it gave me a hand that uplifted me. I went through the education process successfully, and I was able to obtain a bachelor's degree in education. And as I speak now, I'm a fully graduate teacher.
On behalf of the women, I convey greetings and wish you a good time.
I take this opportunity to thank you all for your selfless support and generosity to the most vulnerable in this community. That's the widows and the orphans. You have given them the chance to have a bright future.
I would like to bring my gratitude to the sponsors and everyone who has been behind BOH for the support they have rendered to us.
May God bless the supporters of BOH and all the people behind the existence of BOH.
It has been a great journey altogether, and I thank everyone for making the work smooth and wonderful.
Happy anniversary. May the good Lord bless you all. We love you from Uganda.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Clarissa, and for just everyone who has helped make the last 10 years possible. Our women in Uganda and our students are truly incredible. And so we just thank each and every one of you for being a part of our story. And there's so many people that couldn't be here today who have been a part of it too. But we are so grateful for this opportunity to be able to share a glimpse of what the last 10 years have looked like with all of you. I want to go ahead, and I know we're kind of getting toward the end of our time here, so I want to respect that. But I do want to open it up for a time of Q&A. Some of you may be new to BOH, some of you know a lot about BOH, but if anyone has questions or anything they would like to ask or share, I'm going to open it up for a time of that. of Q&A. You're welcome to put your questions in the chat, or you're welcome to unmute yourselves as well too and share. Just know that everyone right now is muted, so you will have to unmute yourself if there's a question that you would like to ask. No pressure to be the first, anyone.
Hey, Natalie, it's Ian. For the programs that you started after the beads, you started with beads. Which was the one that you were the most skeptical of how it was going to work, which made you like a positive surprise for how it ended up?
That's a great question. Thanks for asking, Ian. You know, each of the programs has been started in different ways, so it's a little bit tough to say. I think with our agriculture projects, those have probably come with the greatest amount of risk, just because there's so much that's involved in the crops being successful. So, you know, with animals, there's always the risk that they could get sick and die, and you lose this investment. With crops, there can be the concern that there can be drought or too much sunshine or not enough rain. And so I think with our agriculture projects, there's probably been the most risk with them, but we've also seen that those projects are the most sustainable. So many of our women were already doing different types of farming, or they already had some level of familiarity with raising pigs or chickens. And so they've also been some of our most successful projects. So I don't know that I was the most skeptical with those programs necessarily, but I would say for our women, they've been the most risky of some of the programs, but also had some of the greatest benefits too. Yeah, thanks for asking. Yes.
Are there any new projects that you folks are starting or contemplating or praying about starting?
Yeah, thanks so much for asking, Luis. So the short answer is yes. I've been in the process of putting together a business training. I was originally supposed to go to Uganda in June, as some of you may know, and we had to cancel that trip in light of the lockdown and how things were quickly changing in Uganda. And so one of the hopes was in doing a business training with our women, it might bolster some of the programs that and small businesses the women have been doing already. We've done some different forms of loans with women in the past on a group basis. We're considering possibly doing more in the vein of micro lending. However, we're kind of waiting to see what the biggest need is as Uganda exits the lockdown to know for sure. But we have seen some success with loans, something that's not a formal program, but each of our village groups is made up of anywhere from probably 20 to 40 women. And so we've done group loans for those village groups to do some group projects. And one of our villages in particular has seen quite a bit of success with that. And so we may potentially pilot some sort of program with them specifically. But that has not been determined yet, but it would possibly be in the vein of micro lending perhaps. Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, Jordan here. I see Henry on the call, so it looks like he made it, and was hoping maybe we could hear from you a little bit, and if you've been able to, you know, obviously you've been probably visiting the women on agriculture and visiting them like that, but want to know how your preaching is going also, and if you've been able to do that.
Henry, go ahead and unmute and you can answer Jordy's question if your connection is strong.
Okay, thank you everyone listening and everyone in the meeting. It's really long time. The preaching in the villages has been going on well, and this has greatly motivated the women and helped to build them spiritually. Before we started this program, we found that our members, when they had lost hope, and we realized just encouraging them to work without building them spiritually, we realized it was doing little. But when we started encouraging them and showing them that everything entirely depends on God and is the sole provider and is the one who has made it possible for all the support to come all the way from USA to this end, we realized many of them getting motivated and at least getting encouraged. So the preaching in the villages has been very good, and it has also been seen in the gardens when it comes to working, when it comes to our meetings. You see many of them come together. Since this has helped them to relieve themselves of some of the sorrows, the worries that they have. So the preaching and the visits to the women in their gardens has been very good, and we look forward to seeing our members do more, because this has helped them and motivated them.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing, Henry and Jordy. That was a great question. And just a little bit of context for those who may not be familiar. So our agriculture program that Henry oversees uses a curriculum called Farming God's Way. And it includes spiritual principles such as stewardship and also praying and trusting God to provide rain. And also spiritually builds up the women as well too. And Henry's been a huge part of encouraging the women spiritually and pointing them to Christ. And so we're so thankful to have him. When we've had women who are sick, he's been intentional in going and seeing how they're doing. All of our staff members do such a great job when someone's facing a hardship or sickness or has a loved one who has passed away. Our staff team does such a good job of showing up and praying for them and showing care and support. And that's one of those things that you don't think about, right, as being a part of a normal day-to-day routine necessarily, and yet it's so essential to the well-being of our women. And so a lot of times when our families are going through something hard, you know, they know and they trust our staff members in Uganda. And so they're quick to reach out to staff members, or our staff members are quick to reach out to them to check in to see how they're doing. And so Henry, just really want to thank you and to all of our Uganda staff team for being just so loving and caring and walking alongside our families and building them up. Thank you for the work. We so appreciate you. Yeah. Okay. There's one question in the chat that I want to go ahead and address real fast, and it's this. It says, do you see a need to increase the agriculture diversity? Any plans to change the plants and animals? And that's a great question. I think we're always looking for ways that we can provide additional opportunities to the women or improve programs where there's been difficulties. And it's something that we're constantly looking at. Our agriculture programs have been built out quite a lot in the last couple of years. And so I don't know that we'll make any changes to that this year, but in the long term, I'm sure that there will be things that we add or change over time. This year right now, you know, the president of Uganda just made an announcement yesterday that some of the restrictions would be reduced. So we're still in the thick of helping our families transition out of being in a lockdown. And hopefully being able to recover from that. So I anticipate that that will be what the next couple of months looks like for us. But long term, we certainly would love to add additional diversity to our agriculture program for the benefit of the women and the group. So with that being said, I know we're getting toward the end of our time here. I just really want to thank all of you for being here. Again, this has been a dream come true to be able to see so many faces of loved ones from all across the world on one screen. Thank you again to those of you who have taken the time to be here today and have supported us from the beginning, or whether you jumped on more recently. We really appreciate it because all of you have played a role in helping us get to where we are today. Thank you for caring about our women and what's going on in Uganda. Please continue to pray for our organization and for our work in Uganda, because we're still very much in the midst of coming out of a lockdown situation. So we appreciate your prayers and support. And again, just thank you so much for being a part of BO. It's wonderful to have you be a part of this community. So thank you for being here. For those who want to stay and chat longer, please feel free to do so. Some of the people on this call haven't seen each other in years or it's been a while. So if you want to stay and chat and visit, please do. For those who need to go, that's perfectly fine too. Thank you all of you for being here though, and know that we appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Hey, Natalie, it's your mom.
Hi, Mom. Good to see you.
Congratulations on the last 10 years, honey.
Thank you. I appreciate all your support from you and Dad and the countless ways you've supported BO and also me personally.
Our pleasure. I wanted you to tell, if you could remember, the story of the little boy who saved his money and went from one purchase to another to another.
Yes. Yeah. So over the course of time, we've had just some really sweet and precious stories with students we've worked with. And the story my mom is referring to is we had a student in BSSP a number of years back who was responsible for looking after his family's chickens. And he was very strict about looking after the chickens and took it very seriously. And he would pay close attention to the eggs and did a great job with that. And he eventually, if I remember correctly, Emma, I'm thinking of Kamada, but if I remember correctly, he had sold enough chickens to upgrade to a goat. And then he had sold enough goats to upgrade to a cow. And he was just adorable at how serious he was, because this was a primary schooler. He was in elementary school. He was very little, and yet he was really hardworking. And eventually he had saved money to buy himself like this blanket he really wanted. And it was just the cutest thing to just see how hardworking he was to save and buy up to keep upgrading to the animals he was looking after. But that is a common practice in Uganda, is to go from one animal and upgrade to the next so you can kind of further your revenue and diversify your animals. But yeah, that was a really sweet story about one of our students in Uganda. So yeah. Jordy, you obviously were a part of BO's journey for a long time on staff. Do you have any fun highlights you want to share?
Yes. First of all, I just want to say it is so great, like you mentioned, to see so many faces, both in Uganda and many people that I know here in the States. So this is just so fun. I've been smiling the whole time. What an encouragement. But yes, so I think one of the highlights that sticks out to me, and while I was working for BO, I worked with the students and specifically Emma, and it doesn't look like Jane's still here on the call, and Kathy. But I was able to go to Christopher's graduation from university. And that to me, and getting to see him obviously join staff in Uganda is just so amazing, to see what he studied in school, wanting to empower other Ugandans to just, you know, better themselves and be able to provide for their families. It's just amazing. And then obviously to see Martha as well, using her degree to help educate students. It's just amazing to see the cyclical impact of the students and how they're taking their skills that they've learned and bringing them back to their communities. So definitely a highlight to be able to see Christopher graduate and Martha celebrating with your friends and family. I believe on the last trip that I went to was just amazing to be able to be a small part of that. So obviously the people are just the best. We get to hear about the programs, but just so much love for our partners in Uganda and the women and the students.
Yeah, thanks so much for sharing, Jay. Really appreciate that. And such a joy to be able to have worked with you for a number of years and to still get to see you often. So love that. Want to give my husband an opportunity to share too. So Daniel has gotten to go to Uganda a number of times with me, and also just, this might be obvious, but he's probably one of the biggest parts of my support system and has just really come alongside me and just jumped into the world of BO and Uganda these last 5 years. And he loves our families and our staff in Uganda about as much as I do. And so want to just let you share, Daniel, anything that has stuck out to you in the last 5 years that you've been a part of BO.
Yes, thanks. It's just amazing. I think what Jordy was saying, the people in Uganda, just amazing, the joy that they have, and it's been really sweet too. I never envisioned myself. I didn't know who I was going to marry for a while, and so when Natalie came and we got together, I was like, okay, amazing what she's doing. Going to Uganda. So I never thought I would go to Uganda, but it's been amazing. It's awesome. I'm so glad that I got to go and just meet everyone. The women, they just embraced us and me, and it's really sweet. I feel like it's a really sweet place, really special people, and just seeing the heart of everyone here, being willing to come alongside what Bo's doing. Natalie, I'm proud of you and the woman that you are and your heart for people, and just all the staff, Clarissa, Jordy, Mackenzie. There's been a lot of different interns that have helped out too. And so it's just been really sweet to see everyone play their part and get involved. And we love you guys in Uganda. We miss you. We pray God's blessing over you. And 10 more years, let's go. At least. So thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, and now there's a really cute baby on the screen. So we just need to acknowledge that Allison's little daughter, Zoe, is just about the cutest thing ever.
She wants to say hi.
So the Bo family has grown in that way as well, too. We're just going to raise up some more little empowerment.
Yes, we are.
Awesome. I also just want to give a shout out to Janine and Jolene and Jerry and Julie and Ina and Michael. Thank you so much for being on the call. Luis and Beth and my parents too. All of you guys have just been a part of our organization for a long time now. And so every month when we process monthly donations, every month when we send out spotlights, we are so thankful for our donors and for all of the people who have been consistent in following with our story. So just want to thank all of you on a very personal level. Not only does it practically help support our organization and the work that we do, but just emotionally to know that there's people running the race with us, it means a lot. And I know that sometimes the touching points can be few and far between, but just know that your support does not go unnoticed. We are so grateful for the community behind Bo and behind just our staff team and behind the work that is taking place in Uganda. And we couldn't do it without everyone's support. So thank you so much for being here and for caring and being a part of BO. So, yeah. Katimbo, I wanna see if you want to share now. Your connection looks like it's a little bit clearer. So if you want to unmute to say hi to the group, feel free.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to meet you. Reid, I would like to thank Madam Natalia, Kathy, my coaches, Emma and Jane, and all supporters of BO have actually done something. I'm really so grateful for what you did for me. If it wasn't your support, I would have not completed in my education level. I would have not gone through, but because of your support, I managed to go through, and I'm now working with you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity of working with you. After paying school fees, after paying my school fees, again, you employed me. Thank you for loving me. And thank you for loving all families in Uganda. Thank you for providing everything. Thank you for sacrificing what you've done. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Katimbo, for sharing. I'm glad we were able to hear from you. And yeah, so incredible watching you graduate from university and now being able to work with us. It's just awesome to see. Ahmed, I want to let you share too, because I know your audio is having an issue too. I don't know if you, Ahmed, can you hear me? Okay, go ahead and unmute. I want you to try to unmute.
You might have to click something on the phone, like a button that will help the audio work.
There we go. There you go.
Yeah, Judy, I greet you. How are you? How are
I'm
you?
fine. How are
glad
you?
to see you. I'm okay. It's quite a long time since you left us here.
I know.
Why don't you come and see us?
That would be great once this this season of COVID goes by.
Okay, but I'm very happy to see you today.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm also very glad that our supporters have been really financing us in various ways. I'm glad to tell you that the women in Uganda have been very happy and are always very happy to hear that you are supporting them, especially in the selling of jewelries. They are very glad because whenever they make jewelries and whenever they send them to you, no jewelry is sent back here in Uganda. All are sold and the money out of it is sent to them for distribution. This is very good. I'm happy also to report to you that the women have been somehow creative in making various designs of necklaces, bracelets, nativity, earrings, and so on and so forth. So it's only that we're in a bad situation. Otherwise, some of these new things would have been there already. They are very glad, especially when they got food the other day. They said, no, this is wonderful. May God bless our supporters. May God bless BO. They are very, very happy to hear that you are supporting them tirelessly because it is a long time since you began supporting them. 10 years is something very big. It's not easy. For one to bear that, I should support somebody in Uganda. Natalia has been coming here so many times, twice a year, which has been very exciting. And women have always been happy to receive her This is very good. May God bless you. I personally am also very happy to have seen you, some of our supporters. This is great. This is great. I hope that even next time you come and participate in the way you have done. This 10th anniversary has been very wonderful because God has given us an opportunity to see you. God has given us an opportunity to get new phones. And this is very wonderful because if it wouldn't have been this organization to provide us with these new phones, I don't think we would have watched you. I don't think we would have been on this Zoom. This is wonderful. You really deserve a credit from God, not from us in Uganda, but God should really give you a credit. These are the few words I had to talk to you. Otherwise, I have more. But let me hope that next time such an event will be there and we shall be able to talk to you. We are very happy in Uganda here. I wish we would have joined you in the United States of America. Thank you very much for whatever you are doing. May God bless you. Thank you, Natalia. Thank you, Kathy. Thanks to my fellow staff. Because of this cooperation, this wouldn't have been there. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Mzee, for sharing. I'm so glad that we were able to hear from you. Yeah, as Ahmed alluded to, so we have a shipment of jewelry ready to go in Uganda that I was supposed to bring home in June when I went, and then the trip got canceled. Transportation lockdown was in place. So we are very eager and excited to ultimately get that shipment here one way or the other in the next month or so. So Kathy was laughing and Henry was laughing and some of us were chuckling because Ahmed was also talking about new phones. And recently the organization helped buy smartphones for all of our staff in Uganda. And that has hands down been one of the best operating administrative decisions we've ever done, because being so remote this last year and a half has been so challenging with communication. And so by having smartphones, it just makes email and WhatsApp and Zoom infinitely easier. And so we've been so thankful for that. So Ahmed has learned lots of new skills on his smartphone. He's been great. He's been sending me videos and pictures, and it's been wonderful. I see Kathy laughing as I'm saying that, but it's been wonderful to improve the communication the last 2 months, especially right before the lockdown. So we, fun fact, had a university student from BSSP with a background in technology come and train all of the staff members on how to use their smartphones. So Jacob came and trained the staff, and they had a wonderful day learning about Zoom and how to set up their emails and WhatsApp and everything. And it's been awesome. So yes, so thankful for that as well too. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping us up. Does anyone have any last comments or questions they want to share? Henry, you have one?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm so happy to see some of the names, the faces of names I've been just hearing, like Clarissa, Allison. I've been in position to see Kathy, Jordan. I've missed you for long. This is really very good. Otherwise, we need to thank God who has helped us move this far, and for all the provision that he has offered to Bo, as well as walk up through you people. I'm so grateful for the support Daniel has given to Natalia. When Daniel came in the life of Natalia, the women were worried. They thought Daniel would stop them, would stop Natalia coming to Uganda. But we are so proud that Daniel have continued to support Natalia and many other colleagues that we are really seeing for the first time. This is really very good. Zoom has made us surely one family. May God bless everyone. May God bless everyone. May God bless everyone. In the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen. Thank you so much, Henry, for sharing. I would love it, Henry, as we wrap up, if you would pray for us before we go and just thank God for the last 10 years and acknowledge him for the road ahead. Would you mind praying for us, Henry?
Yeah, we can pray. Lord, we thank you, King of Kings. You are the source of provision. You are the source of unity. You are the sole provider in whatever we do. King of Kings, we are so grateful for today that you have enabled every one of us connect to each other and at least hear from everyone. King of Kings, we want to thank you for the 10 years you have enabled us work together as Bo and Woke Up, and for the provision you have extended to the women, the widows, and the orphans. King of Kings, this is not to human level, but it is only to you, the Creator. King of Kings, we want to dedicate everyone, the supporters, the staff of Bo and the staff of Bo in USA and in Uganda. You, the source of life, may you continue offering life to every one of us so that we can continue seeing more products out of Bo and out of Woke Up. We dedicate everyone to you, you, the source of life, and may you protect everyone and continue providing to Bo through all the supporters. In the name of Jesus Christ, we've prayed.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so
Amen.
much, Henry. I appreciate that. So good to see
welcome.
all of you. Thank you for taking the time and for staying after our initial time. So good to see all your faces. And
Hi, Natalia.
hi, Vicky. Good to see you. That's Henry's wife. So good to see you. Such a treat to see friends and loved ones, as I've mentioned, in Uganda and here throughout the US. And so I just want to wish everyone a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you again for being a part of Bo's journey so far. I look forward to many years ahead to come and the stories that we'll be able to share and a reunion in the future. So thank you so much. Have a good day, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting and the recording soon, but take care and God
good
bless
to see
you.
everyone.
Yeah.
Bless
bye,
you all.
everyone. Yeah. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.